You know, my recollections here at Iona are absolutely terrific. The school had a policy back then that every child will play sport, academically, but also on the football field, on the cricket field, tennis, playing tennis, swimming, whatever. And every child had to play sport here. And I think from my childhood and the upbringing they brought here, the Oblate fathers were right on the money then.
We did turn over to rugby league fairly quickly, but we found it a little bit difficult because most of the students then came from Guardian Angels or Bulimba, mainly Guardian Angels, and we'd only played soccer before we came to Iona. We also, our teaching staff were all either Irish priests or eventually they were Victorians or West Australians, so we had a lot of experts in Gaelic football, a lot of experts in Victorian Aussie rules, but we didn't have very many good coaches in rugby league.
We were against very well-established schools, and I recall playing Nudgee Junior, Gregory Terrace, etc., and they'd been around a long time and were had far more support in the coaching and the number of pupils at the school, when we had at Iona barely 100 students in those early days, and very difficult to shine. But we did nevertheless win our share of games.
Yeah, I think it's one of those sports, obviously one of those things that brings teams and colleges together. But in those days, it was really the core of how we identified ourselves. We were only young and young academically, so our track record there was not known. So the only place really we could push the black and white was on the field.
And in the first we had which I believe Father Michael's bringing back, the big V's, the black jersey with the V's. Absolutely terrific.
Well, I was lucky to be in the first Premiership Open team, the first in 1964 when I was in grade 11. We had a great coach, Alfie Burks, who was a meat worker who used to live on Bulgin Avenue, and his house overlooked the Divine Oval, or the main oval as it was called then. And Alfie used to come down and coach us, and he was probably the first real coach that we had. And he'd played A-grade rugby league for Winner Manly, and he also played A-grade cricket, so he's a great all-round sportsman. And he had a great way with boys, and he used to come down barefoot. He used to train us in bare feet, and his party trick was to put the ball down anywhere in the field and kick a goal with his bare feet. And he used to bet milkshakes that he would kick them, and anyone was stupid enough to bet against him would usually lose their money.
The coaches at Iona, over the years, there was one that I must talk about, that I thought he was an excellent coach and an excellent human being. It was Alfie Burks, who lived not far from the back of the college, near the Oval. He played, I feel, a little bit of, maybe not for Queensland, but in the Bulimba Cup at times. So he was a very competent player, and he was a guy that loved coaching junior sport and schools.
And they've got a great opportunity as sports people to enjoy the fruits of what they're doing out there. Okay, you've got the hard work, the discipline, the training and that, but with it comes camaraderie, mixing with a lot of different people from diverse cultures, from diverse businesses, and finding out what's different in their life. And they can make a difference out there too.
The support around the college is tremendous, and walking back in after sort of leaving in 1969, it's just like, you know, an old pair of slippers. That's, you know, not smelly slippers, but normal slippers. And you just fit back in, and the feeling and the passion remains, and it's palpable. There's almost a camaraderie between the parents as well as the players, and that was certainly there when I played in 1968, 69. So it's a great place. It's a great college.
Look at the facilities here. There's not too many schools I know that got their grounds here right beside your classrooms. We spoke about the hill behind the first classrooms there. Well, that used to be the training up and down these hills all over the place. I know Father Sherman used to take us on cross-country runs through the marshes right out the back there. You never had to go far from school. You finished the class, got changed, and out you went. But there were always plenty of sport. Like if you look at cricket, for instance, Father Divine had probably the best turf wicket here in Queensland. Down there, the training wickets. The main oval, to me, you always wanted to play on the main oval.
In those days, because of who we played, and Iona was young, we really there was a fair bit of feeling on both sides. I mean, we wanted to establish ourselves as important players in an important school, and other people who played against us had other agendas. So there was a lot of passion in it. Yeah, there was a lot of feeling. There's a lot of pride in the school around our performances, and certainly a lot of passion on the field.
Even from the early days, the big thing about Iona was the spirit of the Oblates. And so many people who have been through the college remember how the Oblates interacted with young people. And when I came back as a teacher, I think that I was quite happy and wanting to carry that tradition on. People like Gary Coghill and Graham Fuller, who spent so long, Damien Courtney, all these people who have lasted long in the college have really embodied the spirit of the Oblates. And once you believe in something like that, then it's a lot easier to carry through with when the hard times come along. The school spirit, I think, was always a really big thing. You only have to look at the athletics days and the swimming days when Iona squads, the cheer squads go along, that there's a very genuine admiration and like for the college. And I think what Father Twigg has done is to once again re-emphasise Lyndon and Iona in the early days and not get away from where you started.
So yeah, so I think rugby league for any boy going in, and I'm really happy to be here today because Iona's going back to rugby league, and that to me is absolutely fantastic, and fantastic for the area too.